here to testify on an amendment, but a situation has come to my attention since the markup of the bill that requires our attention. These amendments, number 180 and 204, would prohibit the Department of Commerce's Bureau of Industry and Security from continuing its punitive pause that was recently issued against export licenses exclusively involving certain firearms-related components and ammunition for non-government end users. As the committee knows, leading up to and upon completion of the Obama administration's Export Control Reform Initiative, BIS received an increase in funding to handle the additional licensing workload which occurred upon the transfer of export licensing authority for commercial or dual-use items from state to the Commerce Department. But nearly 3 weeks ago, on a Friday afternoon, buried in a frequently asked questions document, the U.S. Department of Commerce's Bureau of Industry and Security made a major policy change to immediately institute a 90-day pause on the issuance of certain export licenses involving firearms, related components, and ammunition. The announcement stated that during the 90 days, the Department will further assess current firearm export control review policies to determine whether any changes are warranted to advance U.S. national security and foreign policy interests. But we have no way of knowing how far BIS is going to go with this policy change or whether it will be a permanent ban on the issuance of these export licenses altogether. License applications for firearms, related components, and ammunition are already under strict scrutiny. In fact, firearm and ammunition licenses undergo a deeper interagency review and a 100% end-user check process, which were not always performed on applications previously submitted to their previous licensing authority at the State Department. In addition, the firearms industry is the only industry which is subject to the 100% end-user checks for license applications. License review and staffing by BIS already provides a more transparent review, including for human rights concerns. Furthermore, no product is exported without approval by both the government of the importing country and BIS. Several would argue that our national security was strengthened with the transition to commerce, which also now allows the State Department to focus solely on the export of articles of critical importance to our national security that remain under their jurisdiction. I'm concerned with what appears to be a deliberate move by a federal agency to single out the firearms industry once again for political reasons at the behest of the anti-gun community. This pause puts our national security at risk, is harmful to industry and our economy, will shutter the doors of good-paying American jobs, and will create a void that our adversaries will gladly fill in the international marketplace. All of this begs the question, are national security concerns truly what prompted this unprecedented policy change? And if not, what further anti-gun initiatives does the Department have coming next? Until we have a clearer idea about what is going on at BIS and what actually prompted their recent actions, we should prohibit this 90-day pause and any further anti-gun actions that are forthcoming. And additionally, we should reduce the funding of BIS to account for the reduced workload that is a direct result of their 90-day pause. I'd like to submit for the record a letter from the National Shooting Sports Foundation. I urge you to make my amendments in order, and I yield back.
Without objection, the gentleman's document is
Thank
inserted
you.
for the record. Mr. Grothman, you're recognized to address any amendments you may care to speak to.
Oh, thank you. We're